How can you be red hot, winning your Saturday best bet 9 of the past 11 Saturdays, cashing in with the biggest play of your career in college football each of the past 2 Saturdays, last week with Texas over Florida, yesterday with Colorado taking care of business against Utah, and yet know that you're in a losing streak and you're ice cold? I'm going to explain why in just a moment. Plus, with your NFL complimentary plays over the past 31 weeks, dating back to last season, I am on a 60 and 43 roll. And I've got three more complimentary plays today. And I'm going to preview a number of games on your Sunday card. Chief among them, the top play today, the NFC North showdown between the Bears and the Packers at Soldier Field. Plus, I'm going to take a look at the game between the Raiders and the Dolphins, and also the big AFC North showdown between the Steelers and Ravens. That's all coming up on today's video report. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here, general manager at DeMarcosports.com. And yes, as I said, I am hot in college football, and it has been one hell of a season. Yesterday, the 37th ever college football ultra rare 30 dime play of my career. 37 of them in 23 years since I created DeMarcosports.com, and I cashed in with Colorado over Utah. And as I said, that was on the heels of last Saturday, cashing in with Texas over Florida. And over the past 11 Saturdays, the best bet at DeMarcosports.com, I've won 9 out of 11. So why am I telling you that I am ice cold? Well, it's a real simple fact, guys. And here's the deal. So yesterday I went 0-3 for the second straight Saturday with my complimentary plays. Yeah, lost them all. Oh my God, a handicapper who's admitting he's losing. Yeah, well, listen, guys, they're the free plays. So if you can't live with the free plays losing, tough luck. But the fact is, yes, I lost with Kansas State yesterday, which was my top complimentary play, as I like to say, the best of the worst. Now 8-4 with them the last 12 Saturdays here, giving away those plays. Also lost with Western Kentucky, also lost with my teaser on Georgia and South Carolina. So 0-6 with the complimentary plays the past 2 weeks. And here's what I'm saying to you. When I am rolling, when I am seeing the entire card, I am rolling big with not only my best bets, but also my complimentary plays, usually hitting at about a 65 to 75% clip. Because as I like to say, I narrow down the card, and then the plays that I'm giving away, the best of the worst, those are the cards that for one plays, for one reason or another, I've eliminated from consideration from being the top play. So winning the top play, 9 of the last 11 Saturdays, believe me, the last few weeks, I am threading the needle, which I have to pat myself on the back as a credit to my skills as a handicapper because, listen, guys, I am effing good. I haven't done this for all these years because I'm not good. And if you've been a customer, well, you know I'm good. And that's just reality. That's just me, not bragging, but that's the facts. But I also know that I am not seeing the total card with clarity, that I am in a slump right now because, yes, I'm finding the best bet. And it happens to be that when I looked at the card last Monday, Colorado was the first game that stood out. When I looked at the card 2 weeks ago, Texas was the first game that stood out. I'm just not seeing the entire card. And that's why when these Mid-American Conference games, a conference that I absolutely hate, these Conference USA games a couple of weeks ago, these midweek games, I'm just taking a pass, one pass after another, and simply turning to basketball. And why not? I've won 9 of my last 11 college basketball best bets. I'm on a 42-21 best bet run in the NBA. I made a fortune last year in college basketball in the NBA. Don't go where your mama ain't asking you to go. That right now is these midweek games. So I will eventually get hot again, but I can't really complain having hit 9 of my last 11 best bets in college football right here at DeMarcosports.com. With that being said, let's turn our attention now to the NFL, where today, well, listen, guys, after winning on Friday in the NBA, after winning on Saturday in college football, and winning on Thursday, of course, with a Raise the Bar 20 dime release on the Eagles, my second strongest play going once more today. Raise the Bar 20 dime release, number 19 out of 29. It's my cheap chalk game of the year. Say that 3 times quickly. This game goes on the early card, and I love it. And just like all those other plays, it's going to be the half price play of the day. That's half price play of the day using coupon code HALF, HALF. For my latest Raise the Bar 20-time release, number 19 out of 29 overall, just as strong as the Eagles winner on Thursday night. Okay, with that being said, let's get to your complimentary plays. First one, I'm going to go with the Packers. Minus the 5.5 at Chicago. Now, you know the Bears made wholesale changes because their offense has been pathetic. They fired their offensive coordinator after the 3-game losing streak, a stretch where they scored a total of 27 points, and they're last in the NFL in that stretch, yards per play with 3.7, last in third down conversion rate at 15%, and 0 offensive touchdowns in that stretch. So somebody had to be a scapegoat, and that somebody was their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron. So they promoted the quarterback coach, Thomas Brown, into that position. Is that going to really improve the offensive line protection for their rookie quarterback who has been sacked 15 times in the past 2 games? Oh, I don't think so. And listen, I love the fact that the Packers are coming off the bye in that home loss to the Lions. Jordan Love went through practice unscathed this week. He's apparently fully recovered from that groin pull. And the fact that this series has been one-sided would be an understatement because the Packers have won 10 straight and against the spread in that series against the Bears. And this is a must-win for the Packers. Forget about all that BS that you're hearing about the Bears needing a must-win situation. How about the Packers? They are 0-2 in division play, having already lost to the Vikings and to the Lions. They need this win. You've got a Bears team that just got controlled, hammered by a bad team, that being the New England Patriots, who came into Chicago last week and absolutely iced them. The Bears offense had 142 total yards, 1 for 14 on third downs in that situation. And again, Williams was sacked 9 times. I think the key here for the Packers isn't even necessarily Jordan Love. I think it's going to be Josh Jacobs, who is going to face a Chicago run defense that's giving up 133 yards a game, 4.8 yards per carry. One of their big defensive tackles and best run stopper, Andrew Billings, is out. Their edge rusher, Montez Sweat, is questionable for the game with the ankle injury. So even if he plays, he's not at 100%. So I think that you have the potential here for the Packers to be able to run the ball successfully. And I'm going to go, once again, with Green Bay as my top play today, minus the 5.5. Now, if this game moves up to 6, or if that's what you get at your sports book, naturally that's that price point inflection where I'm going to tell you, as you know, you're ready to repeat after me, when the line crosses 3, 4, 6, or 7, and you're on the favorite, you're buying down that half point, and that's what I would do here today if you're getting the Packers minus 6. Guys, as you always should know, if you have not yet subscribed to the video and you want to always be alerted to when it's available, you can do so right down there in that bottom corner and just click the little button and then subscribe, and you'll get that little email notification or alert. And of course, if you like the video, if you like the shirt that I'm wearing today, or the BS that I'm telling you, you can always hit the like button, and that would be cool as my earbud is falling out once more. Okay, next up, let's talk about your next game. I was wrong on Monday night when the Dolphins played the Rams. I thought the Rams would win their 4th straight, but I'll tell you what, Miami in a must-win situation, a defense, especially a pass rush that was non-existent with 10 sacks on the season, it was rejuvenated. Now, it is true they got one of their starting defensive tackles back. They got a couple of key members in the secondary back, but I was stunned with how good the Miami defense played. 4 sacks of Matthew Stafford. I think they pressured him 15 times in that game. Well, now Miami's coming back home and they're taking on the Raiders, who also made wholesale changes during their bye week to their offensive staff, as Antonio Pierce, who proved that he probably really didn't deserve the job despite the Raiders' nice finish last year, because all that feel-good, rah-rah stuff that Antonio Pierce preached, it only goes so far. So he fired his offensive coordinator, he fired his offensive line coach, he fired his quarterback coach, and at the end of the day, you're still left with Gardner Minshew as your starting quarterback this week. Yeah. 7 starts, 8 games this year. Gardner has 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 5 fumbles, 4 of which he's lost, and he's been sacked 23 times. Yeah, that's going to win you a lot of games. The question I have for you in this game, rhetorically, I'm asking this: how is Miami only favored by 7? I don't get it, and you probably don't understand it either, because how the Raiders have shown you anything this season. Now, I don't get the game at all. I think that Miami, with that rejuvenated pass rush, should be able to take advantage of a Raiders offensive line that has allowed the fifth most sacks on the season. Vegas has lost 5 times in a row. Um, you know, they've got the 30th ranked scoring defense in the league, too. They're giving up almost 28 points a game. They're 22nd in rush defense, giving up 130 yards a game. I just think that this is a great spot to jump on the Dolphins. I know they haven't won back-to-back games since like week 15 and 16 last year, but the offense has responded since Tua has returned 27, 27, and 22 points. I know the offense was bogged down in LA, but the Rams had been playing good with that 3-game win streak coming into that Monday night game. They had to settle for a lot of field goals, I think 5 of them in that contest, but I'm looking for them to get back on track here today. Big win for Miami. Again, the line is crossing 7. So I'm going to buy down the half points. FYI, you see it at the bottom of the screen. If you didn't take advantage of the 2-day free trial yesterday, I don't know why you didn't, to get my biggest play of the year, well, you can get my red hot NFL selection, plus all the plays of all the handicappers today and any other day you choose for free. If you've never been a customer over at DeMarcosports.com before, as I always like to say, I can't sell free any better than simply saying that 4-letter word, which I can get away with here on YouTube, which is, again, free, because there are no strings attached. Free means free. It's my way. I've done it for over 20 years of giving you a sample of everything we do. Every handicapper has a different analysis. There's a lot of hot guys right now over at the site. So you get to play for free and all the plays of all the handicappers for free for 2 days, and you pick the 2 days. Why you wouldn't pick today and another day is beyond me, but the choice is yours. If you have any questions, you can contact customer service over at DeMarcosports.com. Now, your next play. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game. By the way, this play is getting a lot of action on the over, which kind of surprises me. I mean, I understand why, because 9-1 Baltimore games this year have gone over, and you look at the series because of the way it's trended, I don't see it, but I understand why, because certainly Baltimore's defense absolutely sucks. I'm sorry, and let me just correct myself. The series has trended under historically because 7 straight unders in the series. So that's the dichotomy of the over under in this particular game, because Baltimore's defense used to be good. So when Pittsburgh's defense was always good and Baltimore's defense was good, you can see why the under was such a strong play. But Baltimore's defense sucks this year. And that's one of the reasons I lean towards Pittsburgh. I mean, Baltimore's pass defense particularly is dreadful. It's last in the league. They give up so many damn yards, 294 a game. Now, Russell Wilson is not Joe Burrow, and the Steelers' wide receivers are not Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. But the fact is that, Russell Wilson has rejuvenated that offensive attack since he's played in the 3 games since he's returned. They've averaged almost 31 points a game, and Wilson has averaged nearly 230 yards passing a game. But also Najee Harris has really supplied the ground attack, so it's been more of a diversified attack. So I like the Steelers, and the fact is Lamar Jackson has never played well against the Steelers. The Steelers have won 7 of the last 8 in the series. Lamar Jackson, yes, he comes in here on a roll. Last 8 games, he is 7-1 with 22 touchdowns and 1 interception in that stretch. But Lamar Jackson, just like in the postseason, right, where he sucks, against the Steelers, he's never played well. 1-3 lifetime, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he's been sacked 20 times in those 4 games. Hard to believe we are at this stage of the season, and this is the Steelers AFC North opener. I'm going to go with the Steelers in this spot. I was surprised that they won last week against Washington, but they pulled the game off. I'm going to go with them here. I like the Steelers in this spot. So again, let's just quickly recap your top plays. Green Bay, number 1. Miami, a strong number 2. Pittsburgh, a weak number 3. But I also handicapped a lot of other games, so let's quickly review them as well. Buffalo and Kansas City. There's a video. You'll see the little link here at the top in this video report about what my thoughts are about marquee games. But I'll just quickly say to you, marquee games are often the toughest. When I was doing a lot of TV, when I was doing 40, 50 radio interviews between Thursday and Friday, marquee games, everybody always asked about marquee games. Listen, I always have an opinion on them, but picking them, betting on them, it doesn't pay sometimes to be the smartest guy in the room and have an opinion on them because they're damn tough for a reason. And I think this Buffalo Kansas City game is the toughest game on the board today. I mean, yeah, the Bills have won 5 straight games. Oh, by the way, the Chiefs have won 15 in a row dating back to last year. The Bills are 4-0 at home. And by the way, the Chiefs have won 15 straight games dating back to last year. Josh Allen in 7 career games against Kansas City, 16 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions, 3-1 in regular season meetings against Patrick Mahomes. But all 3 of those wins have come at Arrowhead. And by the way, the Chiefs have won 15 straight games dating back to last year. You get where I'm going here? It's so damn hard to bet against Kansas City, especially when you consider they're an underdog here. And when Kansas City, when the spread is anywhere between +3 and -3, Kansas City is 4-0 this season against the spread and 9-2 their last 11 dating back to last season. And by the way, the Chiefs have won 15 straight games dating back to last year. I mean, I just don't want to hammer home that point any more than that. They came back with that miraculous come from behind win in overtime against Tampa Bay when I thought that streak was going to end. They played lousy last week at home against Denver and blocked that field goal as time expired to pull out the 16-14 win. There's a reason. But does luck finally run out today? I think so. So I lean a little towards Buffalo. But again, I'm going to be a fan like you. I'm going to love watching that game on Sunday Ticket today on YouTube, but not betting it. Sorry, not my thing. So let's talk about by the way, the Bills have some significant injuries here. You know, Amari Cooper, if he's going to play, he's still got that wrist injury that's been in a soft cast the last couple of weeks. And Dalton Kincaid, their starting tight end, who has a team high 59 targets and 34 catches, he is out today for the Bills. That brings me to Denver. Boy, the Broncos are playing so damn well. You know, everybody laughed about Bo Nix. Everybody laughed about what the job was facing Sean Payton this year, but had they not played well? And if not for that 35-yard field goal that was blocked at Kansas City last week, and you know how tough the Broncos play the Chiefs all the time. Yeah, it was a 16-14 loss, but the fact is that Broncos just keep playing well, and that defense has been outstanding all season long. And Bo Nix is showing you the same moxie he had at Oregon. He just gets the job done. Not spectacular numbers, but he's playing well. And now Denver's a 2-point favorite at home against Atlanta. I think the thing that I take out of this game from analyzing it is this. The Falcons' pass defense, not good. Allowing a league-high 70.3% completions, and they have a league-low 9 sacks in 10 games. You would think somebody along Atlanta's front defensive line, they would accidentally bump into a quarterback and say, oh my God, I knocked you down to the ground, and pick up a sack. 9 sacks in 10 games? How bad is that? They also have the league's worst pressure rate at 27.9%. That's awful. And when you look at Bo Nix's numbers, when he's in a clean pocket, he completes 70.2% of his passes. When he is feeling the heat, he's a 43.9% passer. Again, Falcons have 9 sacks in 10 games, so Nick should have plenty of time in that pocket here today. So I like, again, Denver against a Falcons team that last week, if you look at the box score against the Saints, they dominated. 468 total yards, 25 first downs. Cousins, over 300 yards. Robinson, 116 yards rushing, 5.8 yards per carry. But they had to settle for 5 field goals and lost, or they missed 3 field goals and they lost that game 20-17. You lose to the Saints, I don't think you're going to beat Denver. That brings me to the San Francisco-Seattle game. There's another one-sided series. 6 consecutive regular and postseason wins by the 49ers in that series. 5-1 ATS in that series as well. By a 31-16 margin, those wins, including a 36-24 win at Seattle in week number 6. Christian McCaffrey last week was rusty, but now 2 full weeks of practice and second game action. I think you're going to see a little more out of him. In his last 6 games against Seattle, minimum 125 total yards, average 163 yards. Brock Purdy, 8-2 lifetime in division games. And in the first meeting, they didn't lay a finger on him. Clean pocket the entire game, they being the Seahawks. 18 for 28, 255 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the 49ers had 483 total yards in that game, including 228 on the ground, 6.9 yards per carry. And remember, that was out without CMC. So how can you not take San Francisco in that game? Now, there's some other games on the board. You've got Cleveland, New Orleans. You've got the Colts and Jets. You've got the Rams and Patriots. You've got the Vikings and Titans. Those games, every single one of those games, they have at least one bad team, or they're a bad matchup. Good money on bad teams, bad results. So I could care less about those games. Don't write in and ask me opinions about those games because I don't give a damn about those games. I didn't even handicap those games. But I think I've now gone over the entire card for you. There you go. And in terms of those other games that I just talked about, I think you can look at San Francisco as a teaser partner. You could take San Francisco in a two-team teaser, either at 6 or 7 points, and take them down to virtually pick them. I certainly wouldn't touch the Buffalo game in the teaser. I wouldn't touch the Denver game in the teaser. If I was going to hook San Francisco up with somebody, I would certainly lean toward taking them with Miami and a two-team teaser. And now you're taking the Dolphins and the 49ers both at home in teaser, making them both even. I think that's a very strong teaser. So there you go. If you want a fourth official free pick, that would be my choice. So there you go. I've knocked down the entire Sunday card for you. I wish you well, guys, and talk to you again next week. Good luck, everybody.